Hi, and welcome to week 6 of the high school football season. I'm Kelly Hines here with Barry Lewis. Barry, we're in the second half of the season, getting pretty interesting. Which games are you most looking forward to this week?
Yes, the second half of the season will start out with a bang, as there are a lot of blockbuster matchups. Starting off on Thursday night when Cassia Hall hosts Berryhill in a rematch of the 2009 Class 3A state championship game. This one will also decide District 3A5 title this year. So many great players on each team. Berryhill has Adam Dolan, great back, and also an impact defensive player, and Justin Tomlinson, one of the area's top linebackers. And Cassia Hall has Connor Sherwood, also one of the top linebackers, and Patrick Bass, which does a lot for Cassia, like Adam Dolan does for Berryhill. So it should be a great game. On Friday night, East Central hosts Central in a matchup of two of 5A's top teams. This will also probably decide a district title. The top-ranked Cardinals came through with a hard-fought win last week over Coweta. I think for East Central, though, to win a state title, which is their goal, that they're going to have to pick it up a little on offense. But, wow, what a defense they have, led by Damian Gibson, one of the hardest hitters in the area, and Javante Cross. And, Kelly, you've got an interesting matchup yourself at Lincoln Christian.
That's right. Lincoln Christian hosts Vian this week, and that's a really interesting game. Both teams on paper are pretty comparable, both 5-0, and their defenses have played extremely well. Vian's defense is limiting opponents to less than 7 points a game. They've had 2 shutouts, and both teams have very powerful offenses, and they've just been dominating teams so far this year, and that's a game that I think could be a close one, should be an interesting one. Looking forward to seeing that. Barry, let's rewind to last week. What were some of the surprises?
I was really surprised at the scare Broken Arrow got at Muskogee. I think Broken Arrow is a serious state title contender. Muskogee came into the game with a 1-3 record, but it just shows you how much Muskogee is improving under first-year coach Josh Blankenship, that they were able to take Broken Arrow into overtime, and Broken Arrow was fortunate to get out of there with the victory. And Kelly, what did you learn last week?
Well, I learned McAllister is pretty legit. I was really impressed with the Buffaloes. They scored 42 straight points against Skiatook, which is a pretty decent team. And they showed that they have one of the best dual threat quarterbacks in the area, and Tony Kiefer. He accounted for 6 touchdowns, and 3 of those were to Alvery Braxton, who we haven't really heard a whole lot about. He is the real deal, great receiver. Looked like Des Bryant out there at times, just snatching catches out of thin air. I was really impressed with how they played.
So you can see him playing on Saturdays, can't you?
I could see him playing on Saturday. He's starting to get a little bit of recruiting, so it'll be interesting to see how he does the rest of the season. And it's time for our upset picks. Barry, what's yours?
All right. I think an upset potential will be the Verdigris at Claremore Sequoia game. Verdigris comes into the game undefeated. Claremore Sequoia 3-2. It's going to be it's always tough to win at Claremore Sequoia, and Claremore Sequoia, I think, is even better than their 3-2 record. So it's going to be a very tough test for Verdigris. So that's my potential upset pick of the week. How about yours, Kelly?
Well, I talked about Vian Lincoln Christian earlier. I could really see Vian pulling that victory off. And another one that I'll be keeping an eye on is Beggs Victory Christian. Both those teams have played well this year, and Victory, their record isn't as good as Beggs. They've had a few close games, but I think that one will be a close one.
So I'm going to have to disagree with you. I think Beggs is going to win. I think Ramsey Hamilton is going to be too much for Victory, and Ramsey they're in attack mode offense right now. Beggs scored 44 points in the first quarter last week against Okmulgee, so I think that they're probably going to be a little too much for Victory. But as we saw last week with so many thrilling finishes, that you never know in high school football.
That's right. Well, that's all we have time for this week. Be sure to watch TulsaWorld.com on Friday nights for the latest updates.